and that he had shot him. From that point on, patrol deputies are dispatched, EMS is dispatched, and the victim is transported to a nearby hospital where he passes away. Our detectives from the Criminal Investigation Division are then dispatched to the scene and assume the investigation from the initial patrol deputies that were there. Once our detectives get there, and throughout the last 30 days or so, as they keep working this investigation, they learn some very important facts. The two men involved, meaning the suspect and the deceased, were friends from being in the dog park routinely on multiple occasions. Sometime prior to the shooting, we're not positive on a time frame at this point, suspect and the victim have an altercation over the victim's sexual orientation. So once we start piecing this together, the detectives are looking for witnesses. We don't find any witnesses. Quiet time at the dog park, 8 o'clock in the morning, very few witnesses. In fact, there are none. We start looking in the surrounding areas. It's close to a neighborhood. Just adjacent to Occident Avenue is a neighborhood. No video of the shooting itself, too. What we start getting is several character witnesses from the victim's side. From there, we start dispatching detectives to follow up on all these leads as character witness. Be mindful, none of these witnesses that we talked to at this time witnessed any of the shooting. It's all as a character witness to the victim himself. What we start to learn is they have a very strained relationship from some point on. We don't have a good time frame when that period is. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. We don't have that time frame narrowed down at this point. But what we do find in the sense of a video is after we began to process the evidence at the scene, the victim's phone has one video on it made from the day before this incident of the shooting. On that video is the victim basically taking a selfie video of himself indicating that you're going to die, and he's making reference to the shooter in this selfie video that he made. At this point, we cannot corroborate any of those statements that were made directly from the shooter that he is describing in this video. It is a selfie video. Very important to understand that part. So as our crime scene detectives, along with our homicide detectives, continue to process the scene, they collect multiple items of evidence. They take photographs of all the parties involved, the surrounding scene, and the scene itself, to include the dog park. People wanted to know, why does it take so long to process a case like this? Initially, the shooter, Deck, makes a statement that it was a self-defense claim that he's alleging. He shot this individual in self-defense. So right from that point on, we have to start looking at a self-defense claim on a charging point. We start looking for the witnesses, anything to corroborate or disprove his statement. We couldn't find any of that evidence at that point. As the detectives diligently keep working this case, we're not going to rush to any decisions on this case, even that a lot of folks in the community wanted a quick decision. You can't rush through these cases. They're very important. The homicide detectives have only one chance to put together a very thorough and efficient investigation. So they take their time, and they're very methodical on the evidence they collect, pictures they take, and the interviews they take, and the questions they ask. Once all that information is gathered, it is then presented to the state attorney's office. The sheriff's office did not go out and charge this individually up front without the state attorney's office input. So all this information, to include the lead detectives and multiple state attorneys from the state attorney's office, met. The information was presented to them to include all the character witnesses' statements, the video that we recovered off the victim's phone, and any other pictures and evidence that the state attorney's office requested. That information was presented to them, And then at some point, the state attorney's office met internally and called the sheriff's office back, the lead detective, and said that they would be charging that individual, the shooter, with second-degree murder with a firearm with an enhancement of a hate crime. So let me just touch on the hate crime enhancement. It's not a separate charge. The enhancement would be enhanced if the individual is found guilty at the time of trial. That's where that plays a part. So initially, you got the second-degree murder with a firearm only, and the enhancement would be done at a later time. Once that information was presented to the state attorney's office, and that was the information we were given, our office, along with our detectives, wrote an arrest warrant, which was signed by a judge, and our detectives went out to the individual's house who was cooperative. He came out of the house. He did not make a statement. He asked for an attorney. He was handcuffed and transported to the Orient Road Jail, where he currently is being booked at the Orient Road Jail.
One concern from neighbors they shared was the lack of press release until like 4 days later about a generic shooting. Is there anything you'd like to comment just in response to their initial concerns there?
Yes, sir. So, based on the sensitivity of cases, we have to be selective in what information we release. We don't want to put wrong information out in the community. We want to put accurate information out. So if we put information out that's not accurate, then we have to retract it or we have to fix it. It's not a good practice to get in. So if we put out a generic statement initially, we can always add to it with the correct information. We don't want to put out bad information on the front end and then have to retract it.
The selfie, back to the selfie, that was the victim or that was the alleged shooter?
The victim, sir. Victim. Victim makes a selfie but a video recording, making those statements.
So the victim was saying, "I'm going to kill you"?
No, sir. He's making a statement saying the shooter made a statement to him, you're going to die. That's the victim talking into his own phone, making a selfie video of what he's saying the shooter said to him the day earlier.
With no videos and no witnesses the day of the crime, how helpful was it for people to come forward and provide those character witness testimonies?
It's very helpful, not just in this case, but any criminal investigation that we work. That's why we encourage everybody, if you want to remain anonymous, they can call Crime Stoppers, remain anonymous, and they can be rewarded through a fund that's set up for them. But in any case, we encourage the Sheriff's Office, if you want to be identified and you want to meet with a detective, you can call our non-emergency number, is 813-247-8200, and we will get a detective in touch with you.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Spell your name again, sir?
Losat, L-O-S-A-T, Frank.